And this has been my kitchen. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Hey, all right. Hey, I got a few ingredients here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna duplicate another Taco Bell recipe. We're gonna make Meximelts tonight, and let me show you how to do just that. We got some ingredients here. We got some white onion, got some tomato, got some cilantro, got some ground turkey, we got some taco seasoning, got some cheese, tortillas, and with all of that, we're gonna throw them together and make us some Duke Meximelts that you can make easily in the comfort of your own kitchen. So let's get started. First things first. We're going to crack this open. This is our ground turkey, and you can use ground beef, of course. Ground beef is preferred, but if you're watching what you eat, you might want to go poultry, and when you go poultry, nothing says poultry better than ground turkey. So here we go. Let's watch the ground turkey poop itself out of this packaging. Here it comes. All right. Anyhow, turn the fire on. And we're going to get us cooking. I need a spoon for that, don't I? Of course, that would help. Okay, let me get one in here. Ah, here we go. That spoon's everywhere. But, actually, this one's a flimsy one, but we'll make it work. Yeah, this is a Walmart special. Look at this thing. Flimsy as heck. You definitely don't want to use this for thick sauces, but this is good for if you want to stir soy sauce. Okay, anything like if you want to stir water, that's what this is for. Because anything dealing with anything solid or thick, like mashed potatoes, forget it. This thing ain't gonna do it. You're probably wondering where we got said spoon at, and it was at Walmart. It was the cheapest spoon they had, but it's also the most flexible spoon they have, so you know it won't break because it keeps bouncing back. This is the Mainstays variety, and the Mainstays is the absolute cheapest that you can get at Walmart because the quality is so low standard. But we won't badmouth Walmart too much. We're after Taco Bell. So we are going to take home the Meximelt recipe, and for an extra added bonus, I am going to show you how to make Cinnamon Crispas. We have some extra tortillas that we have gathered through all of these Mexican foods, and through these extra recipes came extra tortillas that we pretty much have put in the refrigerator for a good time to use them, and a good time to get them out would be to make your own homemade Cinnamon Crispas, and we're going to show you how to do just that. First of all, we're going to brown our ground turkey, and then we're going to take a knife and we're going to go out and rob some banks. No, we're going to slice up our ingredients. First, we need a mixing bowl like this one here. And the first thing we're going to do, let's get to our cilantro first. And to cut your cilantro is very simple. All you got to do is just cut it down like so into nice size pieces like this. And anytime I made pico de gallo sauce at Taco Bell, managers would all gather around and just stare at how good this looked because of my experience in cutting vegetables. So you cut them that one way, and then what you want to do is cut it this way, so it cuts them down even more. Because you want that flavor of the cilantro to be very fluent through your recipe, and the best way to do that is to cut your cilantro leaves first down the stalks and then reverse it and cut down the other side. And And that way you get some nice small pieces like about that size there. Okay, any strays, come back over here. Actually, we could just put them straight into the bowl. Now, Taco Bell also uses a sort of cilantro paste as well. You can also get cilantro paste and put it in here, but I think it's good without. Because we are making a dupe recipe. It doesn't really have to be 100% like the original, but it will be just as good. I love the smell of cilantro. And it's really good for you too. It's anti-inflammatory, so if you have like arthritis, or if you have really bad sinuses, like in Runnin's case, this would be very good, very therapeutic. And the cilantro is acquired right outside from our garden. So fresh cilantro even better, knowing that you can grow it yourself and use it yourself in your own recipes. Alright, so we got our cilantro in there. Next, let's go after our tomato. We can go after this tomato in particular. Actually, let me go ahead and core this. So if you're using a big knife like this, you definitely want leverage. So put the tomato down on the counter and just kind of carefully with the... I don't really suggest anybody using a big knife for coring, but I know what I'm doing. I'm an experienced cook in the kitchen, so I definitely know what I'm doing. But if you're going to do that with a big knife, you're definitely going to need leverage, and you're going to want to put that tomato on a solid surface. That way you maintain better control of the knife. So, I'm going to cut our tomato into good-sized discs. Got the butt end of that off of there. Get a good hold on it because it doesn't like to stand up like that. So, with our... just cut that end piece right off of there. Okay, and set that aside. Now with the top piece, we can use all that because we cored it. And we can also do the same thing here, just cut the real butt end of that off, and you can still use that end piece. Now you can use that end piece. And that's all we throw away. Okay, so cutting and dicing the tomato. Very simple. You want to be very careful anytime you use knives, and you want to cut them in nice small pieces like that, because these are going to go right into our pico de gallo sauce. So the smaller pieces of tomato that you cut, the better. They don't have to be like extremely huge sizes. There we go. There's our tomato. Then we're going to go right into our pico de gallo. Oh. In case you're wondering, I'm not using the knife because I'm stretching my back out a little bit. I got a sore back, so I'm working with it as best as possible. For a reason like this, I don't have a job in the food industry anymore. I'll save some of this tomato off to the side, give Ronan some extra tomatoes. We use this one that came out of the garden. This is another purpose, growing your own fruit and vegetables that you cook with whatever it is you grow. And that saves you from having to go into town to go to the grocery store constantly for new ingredients and fresh ingredients. Nothing's better than garden grown. Take the core out, set it aside, and do the same thing with baby tomato here. And if you want to see a picture of the cutest tomato in the world, doesn't this look like a beautiful baby tomato? Wasn't that cute? That was an adorable tomato. But now that tomato is being cut up and made into ingredients, so it will serve its purpose very well. And you definitely want to watch what you do with, especially your ground beef, or in this case, ground turkey. Now it's starting to get a nice, good, crispy singe. That's okay. That's going to just ensure that your ground turkey will be well done. Usually when I cook this stuff, it's usually very mushy. This will prevent mushiness. Also, all of the juices cook back into the turkey, so there isn't really anything to drain. Just add your water, your seasoning, and you're good to go. Matter of fact, I don't see any pink pieces. Everything cooked out of there, so let's go to our next step and add our seasoning and water. This is a 3/4 job, so I'm looking for 3/4 cup of water. Here comes the water. Whoosh. Thank you, Frank Zappa, for that great lyric. Now adding our Taco Bell seasoning. What better way to do a dupe Taco Bell recipe than using Taco Bell seasoning? There we go. Now, commencing stirring and getting all that seasoning mixed in there really good. Okay, once your seasoning is coated, well, you don't have to learn how to cook seasoned ground beef or ground turkey or ground chicken or whatever it happens to be that you're grounding up and browning and seasoning. So we're going to let this go once we get all the seasoning mixed in and everything is nice and coated. And then we're going to set the heat to very, very low. So we want this to simmer while we work on the rest of our veggies, which won't take very long at all. Now that the tomato is cut, all we have to worry about now are those pesky onions. Let me put this back in because all it had in is water. So nothing gained, nothing lost. Set our knife aside, and there's our pico de gallo so far. Give it a shake. Isn't that beautiful? There you go. Now that's the start of a beautiful pico de gallo. Now, we're not done yet. We still need to do our onions. So take up our knife. I'm going to set these tomatoes aside. That should be plenty of tomatoes for running there, especially since what we're making is smaller than burritos. So that should go a long way. What I'm going to do is cut the two ends of the onion. And it's preferred to use white onion for this recipe, but if you want to, you can use yellow onion. It's not really recommended for yellow, but white onion is more recommended because of its full enrichment flavor. And you know what we could do? If you have one of these guys too, it'll make chopping a breeze. This is what this is one of the earliest models of a slap chop that we have. If this piece will go back on, thank you. And especially with the size of these little white onions, are just perfect for throwing into a slap chopper like this. A few slaps, and you got chopped onion. Let's see that one more time. A few slaps, you got chopped onion. Sometimes that gets stuck, but give it a couple good slaps. Pull it up, you got chopped onions up. Okay, there we go. There's our chopped onion. And if you want finer pieces too, you find a few extra chops wouldn't hurt anything. And there we go. That should be good. Okay, and very carefully reach up and
cut your fingers off.
Cut your fingers off. No, but since I'm experienced around these things, I know what I'm doing. I don't really recommend you reaching up into your slap chopper to get extra pieces of onion out of there. Okay, and the skin comes right up. Okay, that's the outer part. Alright, and the reason why this is a slap chop, because all the pieces come apart. There's one, and it pops open so you can put it. Let's take the rest of these onion over here and get our bowl out. And what we're going to do is going to use some of that excess onion, waste not, want not, from the sides of that blade protector. And we're going to take the rest of our onion here. That came out beautiful. Absolutely perfect. That's exactly what we need for a pico de gallo. Okay, you got a little bit of onion juice there. That's okay too. All that will just mix right in there and give it a nice, good flavor. Now, we're going to need a separate spoon for that because I don't want to use the same spoon we use for our meats. That's definitely not. We definitely don't want to cross-mix your cutlery, your spoons, anything of that nature. As what cuts vegetables does not cut meats, and the same thing goes for stirring. Anything in food prep, meats go in one spoon or stirring implement, and pico de gallo and fruits and vegetables go into use another stirring implement. And let's just use a big spoon for that.
Oh, sorry, I just want to snip it.
Okay. So with a spoon, we're going to take and we're going to mix up all of our ingredients to make an instant pico de gallo. And that was just the right amount of cilantro too. That's exactly what we needed. And as you can see, beautiful pico de gallo. This is what compliments me every time when I made it at Taco Bell and the managers all gathered around and said, look how beautiful that stuff is. I couldn't do better myself. Where'd you learn how to do that? And I told them, many, many years of working in the kitchen. Food prep. And there you have pico de gallo. That simple. There. And we have plain tomatoes right here for running. Let's give our meat a stir. Well, now that our seasoned meat is done, this is the way it looks when it's properly seasoned, coated, and everything else. So, I'm going to turn the fire off. Got our pico de gallo ready. Next thing we need to work on are tortillas. And what we're going to do is we're going to steam our tortillas, loosen them a bit, and then go put them in the microwave in the packaging because that helps with the steaming. And we are going to cook these beasts for 45 seconds for a new package, or 15 seconds for half a package. Maybe 15 to 20, you know, kind of play with it a bit until it heats up nice. What we're also going to do is you can either do one of two things. You can first use your oven to melt your Meximelts, or you can use the microwave oven. Now, preferably I choose the oven because chefs prefer oven over microwave, but you can use either or. But for a quicker demonstration, I think the microwave would be a little faster to help melt these things down. That's why they call them Meximelts. Now, let's go ahead and get rid of our onion ends. We don't need these anymore. We're waiting on our tortillas now. And then once everything is done, we can throw everything together, melt it all, and it will be served. And then we're going to go on to show you how to make Cinnamon Crispas. Those are nice and warm. 45 seconds. It's absolutely perfect. Let me get those tortillas for our Cinnamon Crispas. Okay, we don't have many tortillas left. In fact, I think we only just have the 2. But it's enough to give us a demonstration of how it's done. So 2 is all we've got. I'm going to take those 2 out. One of them is smaller than the other because those come from 2 different packages of tortillas. And that's something else I have to put on the list too to make sure I don't forget is more tortillas. Because I always can use tortillas. I'm going to put that spoon right in there for a moment. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take up this knife. I'm going to rinse it off really quick because it's still got onion and tomato and cilantro on it. Now what you want to do, make sure you use a serrated blade for this. Because a serrated blade will cut right through this. What you're going to do is you're going to cut like this. You're going to press it down, not use any sawing action. You're just going to press down and look how clean it cuts. And then from there, you're going to cut down the middle again. And then from there, we're going to pile that on top of there. And we're going to do the same thing with our other half. Cut down right down the middle over here. Take our quarters and put them up here like that so that everything is a perfect quarter. Now, with the quarters, we're going to cut them all in a perfect stack in half again. And those are an appropriate size for your Cinnamon Crispas. I know these are smaller than usual, but for Cinnamon Crispas, this is the perfect size tortilla for your Crispas. So now what we're going to do, now that we have a good stacking going, we're going to heat up our deep fat fryer, and what we're going to do is throw them in there. What we're going to need to do is get another bowl, and this is going to help coat the cinnamon and sugar on our Cinnamon Crispas. A bowl like this would be just perfect for the task. So you want one that's kind of big enough around, but not so deep, because what we're going to do is going to shake gently the sugar and cinnamon onto our chips when they're done frying. And we're going to go right from the fryer right into the bowl. So that way we shake them, and all that cinnamon and sugar with some of the oil from the chips will just stick. So that's what we wanted to do. We need to first get out our cinnamon, which I can find in this big wide open mess. We're also going to need some sugar. Well, I could always go all the way across the room and get it, but TV Magic works much better, and you get everything that you need, or at least everything that's in your kitchen right here in your very own mitts. So what we're going to do is we're going to prepare, while that is heating up.
Just pull it.
Yep, I know. Got a little sidetrack there. Let me get a separate spoon and we can mix this together with a smaller spoon. Now this doesn't really require any kind of specific measurements. Just note that a spoonful of sugar to a spoonful of cinnamon. So we'll do 3 spoonfuls of sugar, 3 spoonfuls of cinnamon, mix them together, and you got an even mix of both ingredients. So it's 1 part cinnamon, 1 part sugar, all parts delicious. Make sure it's level teaspoons, or spoonfuls, and not heaping. Unless you like a lot of cinnamon and you want it to overwhelm the sugar, then I suggest make them leveled and add an extra spoonful. Why is everything falling when they know my back is sore? Every single time my back is sore. The gravitational pull seems stronger. I don't know why that is.
So yeah, same here.
It's karma. Always has a way of messing with you even though you don't deserve it. Anyway.
Well, I think karma's usually whenever you do something, basically.
When you do something bad and it comes back to you, yeah, I know. Anyhow.
Unwarranted karma, there we go.
Yeah, it's circumstantial karma. Unwarranted karma. Now I know what you people are thinking out there. SonicBlu, why don't you do the cinnamon challenge? No. Do I look crazy to you?
Yes.
No. Actually? Nah.
It could be worse. Somebody could put, what is that, paprika on it instead of cinnamon.
That would actually be better than cinnamon.
Really?
Oh yeah. Cinnamon is an extra dry agent. And when you put a spoonful of it in your mouth, it removes any moisture you have in your mouth and therefore causes your mouth to become so dry that it could be lethal to some
people have been breathing it in.
Yeah, people can breathe it in, choke on it. It can remove oxygen from your breathing apparatus. That's perfect. Okay, that's just the amount we need. So 8 spoonfuls of each ingredient will make for our mixture of Cinnamon Crispas. Let's put the sugar back.
Oh, my nose is killing me.
Usually cinnamon clears sinuses. Well, actually, no, I don't know. It makes people sneeze. Or cough in some cases.
Oh, I'm just coughing already. Having not a good day.
Yeah, that's starting to get warm. So what we're going to do, while we're still waiting for it to warm up, we are going to separate all of our tortilla pieces. And we are just going to line up the bottom of our basket. Make sure that they don't stick to each other because it's very difficult for them to fry on their own accord if they're all stuck together. So you want to separate them and then place them gently into your basket. Now if you don't have a fryer at home, you can use a skillet and just use a little oil and make sure that you watch what you're doing. And if you have a deep fryer, okay, these would not be Taco Bell standard.
Yeah,
but who cares? This is making it at home. Nobody's going to be 100% perfect. But if you were at Taco Bell, this cut would not be acceptable. Can you tell me why? Because the tops don't come to a point. And according to standard Taco Bell, they have to come to a point. They cannot be overcooked. And They have to all be the same triangular shape.
Oh, boo-hoo, I'll just eat them.
So now, for deep fat frying, what we're going to do is going to give it a soak before it gets too hot. I'm going to let that soak, and then we are going to hold the basket just slightly. Kind of what we're going to do is like kind of allow this to cook evenly and to prevent as much bubbling as possible, if at all. And we're just going to kind of dunk the basket and give it a shake. I'm just going to try to anyway. Because I know once I drop this down, all of these tortillas are so lightweight, they're going to go everywhere in this deep fat fryer. So if you had also, damn, why did I do that with the spoon? I got a knife. You could also push the basket down a bit, and then with the knife, very carefully, but don't try to poke anything. Just use enough force to break bubbles and push down your tortillas so that they can fry and get an even coating. And then with the side of your knife, kind of push it down like that. Because these are very lightweight, and all they're going to do is float. And one side is going to cook really well, the other side is not. So you're going to kind of constantly press, and you got to hold that basket up so that way they don't go everywhere. So there is a trick to deep frying these, but in a skillet you don't have to worry about that. Just, you know, take them, cook them on one side, watch for any bubbling and pillowing, and then flip them over and cook the other side. But in a fat fryer like this one, it's kind of, if you had something like a weight to put down on these, that would be even better. As you can see, submerging them is a challenge because they're so lightweight. And if you can, like I use this for everything, so, you know, do as I say, not as I do. Use a spatula if you can, but as a matter of fact, I might have to do that too. Let me get a spatula.
Yeah.
I got my spatula. Now I'm going to be able to feel around for our tortillas. They will not take very long to cook, and even if you have to stop in the middle of it and pull your basket up, make sure that you can flip these, because one side is already starting to brown. Is exactly the way we need them. See, that's a perfect brown right there. What we're going to do is need to flip these so as best as we can.
Yeah, that one ran away.
Yep, we'll get it back. It'll come back home.
It needs its green card.
Yep, just come home to the cocina. Okay, sometimes it can help to use your finger. Quickly go in, because those are going to be very hot. But like I said, experienced in the kitchen, I know what I'm doing. And now you can drop down. Using a spatula, now you can press them down, and the handle will get you out of the way of harm's way of that oil. So after we flip them, we're going to cook the other sides of them until they reach the same color as these. You don't want to get them any browner than this, because like I said, Taco Bell standards, you can't get them too brown. But this is making in your home, but I'm saying this because it'll taste so much better that way. Okay, we're going to check the other undersides. Okay, that's perfect. Like I said, it does not take long to cook these. Let those sit for a little bit. Take that over here. Give it a little shake. We've got a few chips in here. So, what we're going to do is we're going to play in the sand, as we like to call it. We're going to cover it with the cinnamon and sugar till it's all covered. And there's your Cinnamon Crispa. Very easy. Set it aside.
Oh my gosh.
And we're going to go on the next one. I'm going to take the cinnamon, even if you have to do like this and put it in your hand. Take it over here and sprinkle it over there. Lift it up. Cinnamon Crispa. Instant Mexican dessert. It is oh so delicioso. There you go. Keep doing that for all of the Cinnamon Crispas that you have. Best to do it one at a time if you're at home. Don't do what I just did and throw them all into the bowl, because that won't work. There we go, that's perfect. That one's got a little dip to it, so I'm going to have to do that. And there you have Cinnamon Crispas. Now with the rest of that, you can do whatever you want with that, because that only had tortilla in it, but we really don't need the rest of this. So.
Careful. Kitty house.
I tripped over the cat's box. I tell you, clumsiness is out for me today. I don't know why.
Oh, everyone doesn't feel it's a bad day.
Well, with me, it's soreness. Okay, now what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to nuke these, so it'll make my job a hell of a lot easier. Otherwise, if you want to use the oven, preheat your ovens to 325 degrees and probably cook them for about 5 to 10 minutes or until the cheese is melted. So we're going to start with a little bit of beef there, maybe a little more than, well, I don't know, because that's only a pound. So if you really want to get the beef, then I'd suggest 2 pounds for this recipe. Then some pico de gallo, a little bit there, okay, and cheese. Now the cheese that they usually use is a Colby Monterey Jack mix and cheddar, but we're using a cheddar cheese and smoky bacon cheddar mix because that's all we got left. There we go. As much cheese as you want to. What we're going to do is going to fold it over like that. I'm going to set that aside. Make sure it's folded. Alright, nuke this for about, for 4 of them, I'm going to leave it in for 40 seconds. Just enough to get the cheese to melt. Go work on our next batch. So that way we serve up everybody and keep the flow going. More for that, there we go. Okay. So for 3 of them, you want to nuke them for about 40 to 45 seconds. For 4 of them, you want to nuke them for a little bit longer, maybe 50, 60 seconds, a full minute. And
are we going to get a taste test then?
Oh yeah, we'll get a taste test. Inside of your Meximelt is going to look like that. All the cheese is going to be melted, all your products are going to be melted in with the cheese. And I like to add a little taco sauce.
We like Ortega.
A little. I didn't mean a lot.
Oh.
But it comes out. Anyhow, let's give it the old taste test. Tastes way different with the type of cheese we chose.
How is it though?
Not bad.
Okay. Does it taste like bacon?
Cheese. Cheese makes, yes, it does.
That's amazing.
Cheese makes all the difference in the world. If you use the Colby Monterey Jack combination like they use at Taco Bell plus a little cheddar, it'll taste just like a Meximelt.
Oh. You know what we should do? Don't use that on your next one. I got the 1 step higher to try. We'll try that tonight too.
What is it?
It's 1 step higher Ortega sauce. It's the yellow. We'll try that then. I've been wanting to try it and just keep forgetting. What exactly is this stuff anyway?
That's cumin.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's cumin!
Yeah, this is cumin.
I just love the smell of cumin.
Mm-hmm. That's cumin, that's rosemary.
Uh-huh.
And
they smell wonderful.
More cumin up there. In fact, when this goes out, we can put this in there.
Yeah. The fresh is so much better smelling though. I mean, I can't believe it.
Yeah, it is. We'll put that back up there for safety.
Oh, pause one moment.
Oh,
I'm going to go get the sometimes. So,
like I said, the cheese makes a difference in flavor. I wish we had the other cheese, but it is what it is. Doesn't taste too bad. But if you want authentic Taco Bell Meximelts, then use the Monterey Jack, Colby, cheddar, like Mexican. Just go for the Mexican style cheese or taco blend cheese in the grocery stores, and that'll be just perfect. Other than that, I think we got a win-win.
Win, win, win. Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta try that and tell us if you think that we need to change it all, the recipe.
All right.
That one's for Mom, I think. Me and Mom.
All right, I'll take that one then.
Since it has more cheese.
Here's the Cinnamon Crispa. A little darker than I remembered, but I think I added too much cinnamon, not enough sugar. So I think it's 2 parts sugar, 1 part cinnamon, because cinnamon is a stronger flavor and also thicker of a powder. But the taste is exactly like I remembered in a Cinnamon Crispa.
Nothing wrong then.
No.
It might just be a different, you know, variant and such, you know.
Well, it could very well be. So, if you like a stronger cinnamon flavor, use 1 part to 1 part. Nothing could harm it. It's just going to be darker. Or, if you want 1 part sugar, 1 part cinnamon to 2 parts sugar, it'll be lighter, but it might not be as flavorful. This is flavorful. Exactly the way I remember Cinnamon Crispas to be. That turned out really good. I like that. So, what have we learned tonight, folks? Well, we've learned over the course of the Cooking with Sonic Blues in the past that you've seen us do duplicate red sauce. You've seen us do duplicate pizza sauce. You've seen us use chicken burritos, Mexican pizzas, now Meximelts, Cinnamon Crispas. What does that tell you? You can turn your kitchen into a Taco Bell just by following along with us at home and doing all of the recipes that I remembered when I used to work at Taco Bell, and we all used fresh ingredients back in the time. And that's a bonus for you, because if you've worked at some of these places when they use the best ingredients, then you can remember how you prepared the foods from way back when it tasted so good. And nowadays, since they use that synthetic food and they use that freeze-dried stuff,
and they mix the meat 30% meat, the rest is oats and other filler.
Right, exactly.
And it tastes great. I can't imagine what it tastes like fully.
But if you remember a time of working in fast food restaurants when all the food was, you knew exactly what was going into your food and you knew exactly where it was coming from, that's the time to really enjoy fast food, when everything was fresh. Mm-hmm. And you can make the same stuff in your own kitchen, at your own pace, and the amount, you can make it as much as you want or as little as you want. But the best part is, your kitchen could easily become the next Taco Bell. You just won't have to worry about licensing it to other vendors to bring in your freeze-dried supplies. Make sure you go to the grocery store and get your own supplies fresh. For Cooking with SonicBlu, this is SonicBlu Dark Folder. I'm going to enjoy some Meximelts and some Cinnamon Crispas the old-school Taco Bell old-fashioned way. And I hope you do too. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this recipe if you tried it at home. And I'd love to hear about how your recipes turned out as well. From all of us here at Cooking with SonicBlu to all of you out there, if you're not cooking good, you're not eating good. Take care. Darn it. You know, I was so much better at that when I was 9 years old. And, there goes my other onion and a half. That one slipped. Okay, let me wash that off. Okay. The onions are starting to get to me, folks. And I promised myself I wouldn't cry. I know we got our cinnamon up here with our baked goods because that's where I put it last, I think. I missed. Where is our cinnamon? I think it moved. Actually. Where did our cinnamon go? I think it did move. Here's our cinnamon. Cinnamon. Okay. I found the cinnamon, and now I'm putting all the spices back into... Something don't belong there, it belongs here. Bouillon, fajita, Old Bay. Why am I running out of room? I just took one thing out, now I'm running out of room already. Probably because things were stacked on top of each other, that's why. And basil leaves. Basil can go in the back because we already have basil up there. So that's an extra.
Oh, you needed cinnamon.
Why did I put that? Okay, this tomato. I hear you, microwave, don't worry.
Yeah, that is the most rude microwave we've ever had.
I know.
It just
It'll scream
beeps.
at you like, I'm done.
Hurry up, guys. Come on.
I'm waiting. Got food in here. Hello.
Got something else to do with my life than sit around waiting with your food.
What have we learned so far? Well, we learned that this microwave won't shut up. I'll put the next one.